Hello and welcome everyone to another episode. Yes, so no takeoff. Yeah, let's just, I gotta disable this first. Yeah, let's go. Yes, so I should do all my videos like that. Just delay the launch by like 4 or 5 seconds just to throw you guys all off. But no, so anyways, I am launching this behemoth piece. And this is going to be a part, this will be the engines for the Kerbin Tanker. Yeah, this has been a little bit of a trip, guys. You guys, I'm about to pull my hair out because this is like my 6th time launching this thing, and I am just sick of launching this or having anything to do with this. Every single flight has gone somewhat wrong in some kind of way, and it is just driving me insane. See you later. Hopefully this time doesn't have any kind of problems, but basically what I've been experiencing is my first video where I basically launched it, I scrapped it because there was a few problems with the way this thing was working out. But I solved that, and everything is looking good now, but the new problem was my second time when I was recording and I went to go dock this thing up, I ended up clipping the Kerbin Tanker, and I knocked off a docking port, so I had to reload, which I ended up shooting another episode, which is the one before this one, and now I lost all that progress. And now I launched it again, and then I experienced some other new problem where it basically just one part ended up clipping into another part, and then when I came out of time warp, everything went kaboom. Then yeah, well, it wasn't one part of the part that I separated ended up clipping inside of the ship itself. And not good things. That's all I can say. Not good things. So then I launched it again, and it randomly just separated in space for no reason whatsoever, because every other launch went so well, this one decided that it wasn't going to. So that was a little bit entertaining, to say the least. And now I'm just hoping that this thing doesn't do the exact same thing it did last time. That's all I'm really hoping for. I just want everything to go perfectly well and not have any other real problems. But yeah, so I'm gonna cover this thing a little bit right now as it is. Yeah, you guys remember my old Joule. For all of you new people that don't really know much about the Kerbin Tanker, I built one of these before, and I only put 5 engines on the entire thing. You know, you're talking, how many? 32 times 8. So, you know, just to give you an idea on how much tonnage 5 engines were pushing. Also, you have to mention 8 RCS tanks, completely full as well. So it gives you an idea on how much tonnage that 5 engines was pushing. And it's just like doing a burn to the moon took like 13 minutes. It was just like, you know, watching paint dry. It was just horrible. I really wanted to do something to improve that. So now we have a total of 12 engines. And I really think this is a lot better. I think this is going to work out so much better. At least I hope so. So let's see here. Now I got one little bug that I want to tell you guys about that I think is kind of funny, and this is just me. You guys can see that there is something on a suborbital trajectory right here, this little wannabe satellite thing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it before, but I basically put this on, you know, a trajectory where it's going to end up impacting. It's, you know, we're going to get rid of it. It's basically going to be gone after a certain point. Have you ever put something on a suborbital trajectory like that, where it's going to impact back with Kerbin, and, you know, you go into time warp or something like that, and it never actually crashes into Kerbin? It just continues on its orbit like it normally does. Or, well, like it shouldn't. I should say. And it's just the weirdest thing I've seen so far. I don't know why I set up a node here. It was kind of stupid of me to even do that, but whatever. Yeah, so I kind of experienced that, and I was just like, what is going on here? Like, it was just a complete, like, it just completely messed with my mind in so many ways. I just didn't know what was going on. But let's see here. We're gonna have to set up our node here soon and see what kind of encounter we can get. Get rid of this, and we'll see what kind of encounter we can get here in a second. We should be in orbit now. Yeah, we are. Perfect. So I'm gonna bring this out a little bit. There we go. And we're gonna set up our burn over here. If it will let us. Let's see here. Somewhere around here actually seems a little bit better. That way we don't have to do much change to our inclination in any kind of way. So let's see. How much of a burn do we have to do? I hope it's not that bad. Doesn't look that bad, to be honest. 2.4, I'm okay with this. Let's get lined up and let's get this thing. Ooh, I should do this first. See, there we go. Something I should have done a long time ago. But we'll turn the RCS on. We'll get this thing rocked around, even though, yeah. Getting this thing to space, I'm like absolutely happy right now that I even just got this thing to space and everything else. I sound like a noob right now probably, but it's just like, oh my god, this thing is just causing me so many problems that it shouldn't at all. It just literally shouldn't be causing me any of these problems that I'm having. And yeah, my keyboard dies again. I really gotta invest in a new keyboard. I think I'm gonna go buy a new one soon. It's getting to be a little unbearable. So it's almost time to start this burn. Yeah, I think we should just get this burn done and over with. And let's get this lined up. It's perfect. Almost perfect. Let's see what we got. Alright, let's do a little bit more. Stop. There we go. 2.6. And how much fuel do we have left in this tank? Crap. Yes, nothing. A lot less than I expected. You know, the one thing I should have done is put a Sepatron on here to push this part away, but didn't do it. So I'm gonna, you know, I just took whatever little fuel we can get out of there. I really don't think, you know, it really isn't much, so let's get back to the map and get ourselves, you know, into a proper orbit here. And I shouldn't say proper orbit, but you guys know what I mean. Get us docked up. Get us all the way there. So, you know, this thing, I'm really hoping that, I've tested it out before a little bit, and it really does work well. And I'll show you guys, once we get it docked up, just what this thing's capable of a little bit. And, you know, what we can do, and how much faster it is. And how impressive it looks too. I mean, I just think it looks amazing. So, but that's just me. So that's all I can say. Let's spin around. I'm not going to decouple this part just yet because it just isn't going to work out that way. I just think it looks impressive. Once all these engines are actually firing, and it just looks awesome. That's all I can say. Really does work out the way I want it, and it really just looks absolutely awesome. So let's speed this up here, cancel out that motion. Let's see, I want to do the burn at like 1 minute. 236 really shouldn't be that bad, but we will see you later. Piece that I really hate and that ruined one of my missions. I'm glad I'm parting ways with you. You did not deserve to be in this episode. But yeah, I added some lights to it too. I didn't really have that great of lights on it, and I changed that around afterwards just because you know, like, there's a lot of little things that I'm adding to this thing. I obviously don't really need to put in, but I did. And, you know, lights are one of those things, once again, that I always talk about, how it's such a waste, and, you know, it really isn't worth putting on there. But I just kind of want to have a little bit of fun with this thing. I really want it to serve its function, its purpose of being built, the whole purpose of it being built. You know, and it really does. Yeah, right now, it really does. But I just want to make sure that, you know, we are able to see everything, and, you know, when you're coming in, like, you know, with a smaller refueling ship, you'll be able to see it from a distance and kind of understand where it is. Because a lot of my stuff, it doesn't work out that way. So we're loading this thing in. We're getting pretty freaking close, and I need to slow down. That would be a good idea, considering how close I am. So we got a good amount of fuel, and we got a good amount of just about everything right now. I mean, we're sitting pretty good. That's all I can say. And I just really hope we can slow down before we impact this thing. That's kind of the other main concern right now. Okay. Everything's looking good. Everything's looking just good. There we go. So we need to start heading kind of underneath this thing. I want to kind of pull around on this side. And, you know what? Actually, I'll just make it even easier on myself. I'll just bring this thing and line it up like that. You know, we got the sun in our favor a little bit. I'll turn off the RCS, and I'll just, I'll cheat a little bit instead. Let's see. I should set this as a target. Why does it seem like it's coming right at me? There we go. This should make things a lot easier in so many ways. But there we go. Do I feel like changing this? I think I'm just gonna flip it around like that. I don't know. I should just leave it the way it is. I'll just line it up a little bit better. There we go. Yeah, I'm liking that. Yeah, bring this over. There we go. So now this should be a relatively straight, just docking right up. No real issue of doing anything else. Just turn the RCS on. Let's get going a little bit, heading towards our target. Bring this down. There we go. I didn't even turn on the chase cam. There we go. Chase cam to the rescue. And what is this stuff over here? I think that's a part of the old, the last stage. I think those are the last two pieces of the stage or whatever, just sitting, like, floating around. Whatever. Hopefully we don't clip this thing. That's all I can say, because clipping it wouldn't really be good, and I don't think I really would have to break something at that point. Really, at that point, I would probably break something. So let's just slow down a little bit here. How far away are we? We're pretty close. Our ship isn't under acceleration. That is just silliness. Slow down a little bit. Whoa. Alright, we can see the lights of this thing kind of shining on the other docking ports now. Wow. This is looking pretty awesome right now. Hopefully we can get a pretty clean dock from this. If it's not clean, we'll have to reset it. I'll show you guys how to reset it, like I normally do. Wow. That wasn't as clean as I hoped it to be, but I hoped it was going to be. But whatever. Let's see. If we got clean docks and everything, I'm pretty much okay with this. If there's no clean, you know, if they're not like perfectly clean, we'll see. So just speed this up. And you can see this part kind of flexes a little bit, and that means there really isn't that good of a dock, which kind of sucks, but there's really nothing that can be done about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer out all of this fuel, every last drop of it, from here into here. we're going to have to do a little bit of fuel transfers here for a second. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. And we're back, guys. Yeah, that was a little bit of a crazy amount of fuel transfer, but I had to get rid of all that stuff, and we had to do a few things. So basically we got rid of a lot of stuff, and I'm just gonna kind of bat this piece away with the engines, even though I probably shouldn't, because it's just using engines like that. I don't think they were actually made to serve that kind of a purpose. So let's shut these lights off and then reset them here. There we go. So this is what our tanker's complete, guys. So it's just completely done. Amazing. Just looking absolutely awesome too, I might add. Really, there's nothing else I need to add to this thing. I mean, honestly, I think it just looks awesome the way it is, but you know, we can maybe add a few more things later on. The one thing I'm also considering is making an interplanetary tanker, which would basically be somewhat like the same thing as this, and one of the further back stages would end up being basically the same configuration, only with an orange tank in the center as well, and that would be basically the whole fuel tank to move 8 of these plus the RCS tanks. So it would just be a massive, absolutely insanely huge ship. So some of the things I'm going to cover, because I kind of forgot to mention this, well, you know, we got an okay amount of fuel. The other thing, I'm going to quick save, I added xenon to it. There are no actual ion engines. I know I was kind of laughing and talking about the ion engines last episode, but I didn't actually add ions to this. What I did put, though, is a docking port here. And that docking port will be used for, you know, a few things here and there. It's not going to actually serve any real big purpose, but basically it's going to involve moving extra fuel that's from the, when I docked up initially the with the Kerbin fuel depot, the leftover tanks, because I couldn't transfer all the fuel out because I launched with a full tank, there was leftover fuel, and I'm going to save that up and bring it to this thing, and also kind of recycle some of that fuel. I'm not sure how I'm going to bring it here, to be honest, but I might end up using the Kerbin, or, you know, whatever, the refueler that I brought up there last episode, which I'm going to have to relaunch anyways, but I might end up using that and just kind of bringing it up there. But anyways, this is not what you guys all want to hear. You guys want to hear me launching, or well, flying this thing. So what I'm going to do is, obviously, I'm just going to quick save afterwards. I did balance the fuel out on this thing. I kept the fuel balanced, so let me just do one quick check of these tanks. There shouldn't be anything in any of these tanks. Alright, yeah, everything's balanced. I'm just going to do one more quick save, just to make sure, and we'll fire these engines up. So, yeah, wow. So, let's get this thing going. Now, I do have to say, this thing is just freaking loud, and it is really powerful. Definitely a lot more powerful than the other ships I've built in the past, the jewel carriers and all that other stuff. Definitely a lot more just overall a lot more raw power. I'll be able to do a moon burn a lot faster with this, and you guys can even see right now. I mean, this thing is just flying. The one major thing, though, that I'm a little bit bummed about is the fact that it doesn't have ion engines on it, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference with this many nuclear engines on it. And I did try to keep the symmetry on all of these things and, you know, make sure they're all lined up and everything just looks absolutely perfect. I mean, even on the docking ports, at least I tried to keep them all centered up, but that didn't work out so well. And also, the other thing I'm going to show you guys is the RCS. Now, look at that. The RCS, not one of them is firing. If you look, we're not even using any. And, you know, if I need to make a little bit of an adjustment, it auto-corrects itself a little bit, so it does use up a little bit of fuel, but I mean, overall, everything works really well. The other thing I should test out as well is, you know, using the translation controls. RCS is freaking out a little bit right now because it's trying to line it up. Come on, there we go. Perfect. So, like translation, you know, I can use, you know, that's sideways or something. Alright, these are sideways, and then up and down. You know, they are firing a little bit, but I don't know. It's not that bad. Overall, it's not that bad. I mean, I could just imagine doing a docking with this thing would be, like, freaking impossible, considering it weighs just about as much as a fuel depot. It's a mobile fuel depot. Or you could just call it a tanker, too. I mean, it's kind of, you know, it looks like a tanker, I think. Yeah, so anyways, guys, we have a completed tanker. You know, this is a major part of our fuel network up and running, which is a really good thing. Amazing. And, yeah. So, anyways, guys, if you haven't already subscribed, you know, all that other good stuff, to all you new people, welcome. And, yeah, I will see you next time.